Hello, and welcome to CubePuzzleFun. This is a YouTube channel where I attempt to learn things about this mysterious cube and then teach those things to you. Not just like Simon Says of like, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then the cube is solved. No. Uh, it is trying to teach you what works and why it works. Why do we do the things that we do in cubing? Deepen your understanding of what we're doing in relation to this and other cube puzzles, and even puzzles that aren't even in the shape of a cube. Our last video was about the pyramids, and that's a pyramid shaped thing. Okay, today on CubePuzzleFun, we are revisiting the rotationless challenge. A while back, I wanted to see if I, with my Rubik's Cube skills that I had up until that point, could solve a Rubik's Cube without rotating it, without regripping, without turning it. Usually when I solve a Rubik's Cube, I will turn it and turn it and turn it. So that was my attempt to see if I could solve it without turning it. Since then, I have done the rotationless challenge quite a bit, and I am figuring out that there needs to be some clarifications in the rules, and I have also figured out what it is that doing a rotationless Rubik's Cube challenge is actually teaching me. So I am going to make this video right here, right now, about what you can learn from doing the rotationless challenge, and also what exactly is the rotationless challenge and what it isn't, what's against the rules and what's not against the rules here on the CubePuzzleFun rotationless challenge. One thing that I learned that I needed to definitely clarify, the biggest thing that I needed to learn to clarify, when I solve the Rubik's Cube using the beginner's method, usually I will solve, one side, and we'll call that side the top. And then when I'm done solving the top, I will flip it over, and the top will become the bottom, and then I'll just solve the new top. Well, if you're doing a rotationless challenge, you're not supposed to do that, or are you? Because when I was doing the rotationless challenge one time, I just started solving the cube, and then part of the way through the solution, I said, I'm going to make this rotationless, and I started making it rotationless, but I had been solving the top, and then I got to the point where I really wanted to flip it over, and I thought to myself, well, what if I just do a double turn here, and then I do a double middle turn, and then I do a double turn on the left side? Does that count as a rotation or not? Because I mean, I technically have flipped the cube upside down at that point. So is that against the rules? Is that not against the rules? I mean, I don't know. Needed clarification. The other thing that needed clarification was what can you look at and what you can't you look at. I mean, if I'm doing the rotationless challenge, there's instinctively a side that's facing me. Now, can I only look at that side? Can I look at that side and the top a little bit? Can I peek around the sides? Can I peek under it, or no? Like what's cheating? What's, if I can only look at the front, then there's like 5 sides that I can't look at. For me personally, that's a bit of a pain. Like, I can't even deal with that. So I started saying, well, maybe I should just look at the front and the top. So that makes 2 sides I can see and 4 sides I can't see. I was okay with that, but then I'm like, but I really can't look at the front and the top without like sort of peeking a little side around the sides. So I was like, yeah, how about front and top, and then if you peek around the sides a little bit, but not on purpose or whatever. I don't know. It just needed some clarification. I didn't know what I was doing with it. So Here is what I've come up with for the rotationless challenge from CubePuzzleFun. This is how I'm doing it these days, and you can always create your own rules. It can be your own challenge. You can do what you want. It's a world that works like that. You can, solve the cube however you like. But if you would like to do it the way we're currently doing it, here is what I have come up with. Uh, you can look at three sides of the cube, and three sides of the cube you absolutely cannot look at. You can't peek around, and so there you go. It's 3 and 3. You have a center here, and a center here, and a center here. Those centers can only make a 90-degree move, and then you have to move them back. So it's like sometimes there's times where you want to move this down and move something around and then move that back. That's perfectly good, but you can't do this double move. That's against the rules, and that there is enough to prevent you from ever doing that this thing and then this thing and then this thing and then having your cube end up being upside down. No, it's that's no more of that. Whatever you start with as the center color on the top, front, and side, those have to stay. You have to keep with those ones, and you can just make 90-degree moves as long as you move them back when you're done. Cool? Are we cool? Okay, so I'm going to scramble this thing up and I'm going to start doing it, and it's going to be time lapse so you don't have to watch the whole thing, but I am going to stop the time lapse at various points and explain some of the things about what we're learning from doing this rotationlessly. There are some things that you're definitely getting in your brain a lot better when you're doing it without rotating, and so I'll be stopping the solve from time to time and talking about those things. All right, let's scramble it up. All right, and now let's look at it in 3/4 view and keep it in 3/4 view and do the solve, and yeah, I'll see you intermittently through this solve. Okay, that's one side solved with the ring around. One thing I'm learning is that I am having trouble figuring out how to hold this so that it's 3/4 view in the camera, and then also have a 3/4 view in my actual vision. That's here nor there. That doesn't really affect you at all on how you're doing it. But yeah, one thing that you are really learning when you are solving a side and you cannot look at that side at all is like when you're placing corners, and I'm still doing beginner method, I'm not even doing F2L, but I am learning a lot about F2L. For F2L, oh my goodness, I'm starting with the Rubik's Cube language. I promised I wouldn't do that, and I'm just, uh, F2L is an abbreviation, stands for doing the first two layers at the same time. So instead of doing it like I have done it, where I have just gone layer by layer and I've solved one whole side or layer, I solved this yellow side. You can't see that it's yellow because that's against the rules to turn it around, but trust me, it's yellow back here. And as I solved this yellow side, I made sure to be solving this whole layer going all the way around. So we have these reds in a row and these blues in a row, and then there are some oranges in a row and some greens in a row on the back side. You don't have to do it that way. If you are into speed cubing, trying to increase your speed and go faster and all that, you do not have to put in this first layer without putting in these four corners at the same time. And a lot of people save time and save make it more efficient, cut down on the number of moves they have to make by solving this at the same time they're solving this corner. That's called F2L. It's first two layer. And even though I am not using first two layer, I am actually learning a lot more about F2L and how it works, um, just by putting in corners that I can't see, and like actually seeing how corners get inserted from different angles, from behind and from on top. Um, and when I go to do this second layer, when I go to use what I call the double elevator trick, I've made videos about that, using the double elevator trick to insert these next four corners. When I'm doing that and I'm not allowed to rotate the cube, that means that I am seeing that procedure, seeing those two pieces get paired up together and then get inserted where they go from different angles. And it's like really solidifying it in my brain, how that looks and works. Before, if you're allowed to regrip and rotate the cube as much as you want, you end up just always looking at those insertion moves, inserting those four corners. You're always looking at it from the same angle because, why not? You might as well. You get used to just moving the cube around to where, you can get the best look at it. But when I am doing it rotationlessly, and I have to learn to do it on this like far back corner where I definitely can't see anything that's going on, I sort of get to see the move from a very strange angle, and that over time has been helping me to understand it. And I think that that is one of the real benefits of doing this rotationless cube challenge, is just seeing how these pieces move around and how these different algorithms, these different series of moves, different sequences of moves that you have to do to get a piece to where you want it to be, how it looks from different angles that you wouldn't normally view. Let us continue. Okay, so one more thing that I'm learning from this rotationless challenge is that a lot of times I will get, there are a lot of algorithms that sometimes you just get a little bit wrong. And the reason is because you rotate something 90 degrees one way when you're supposed to be rotating it 90 degrees the other way, or in a sequence of moves, one of the algorithms, you're supposed to do an operation on the left side first and you end up doing it on the right side first. Those are like the main reasons why you will get an algorithm wrong. And so one thing that rotationless cubing is teaching me is that you get punished. You get punished a whole lot more when you do things incorrectly or in the incorrect sequence or turn them in the wrong direction. You get punished a whole lot more when you're doing it rotationlessly, because you can't really even see the extent to which you mess things up. You can't just like re-grip the cube and quickly fix your mistakes. So that is another thing that rotationless cubing is teaching me, is just to really, really through pain aversion, uh, I am learning to like really solidly make sure that I understand, and you have to understand it in all three dimensions too. You have to like understand it like when you're doing it sideways, understand when you're doing it upside down. So learning a sequence of moves in all three dimensions, it really helps to solidify it for you. And I'm learning a ton from this rotationless challenge. I now have the first four steps of the Cube Puzzle Fun method of solving a Rubik's Cube, which is really just called the beginner's method by mostly everybody else. And now all I have is 4 corners that I have to get to their places and solve, and I will be done with this solve. And done. That is all 6 sides of the Rubik's Cube solved. If you are trying to take up the rotationless challenge, let me know how you're doing. I would love to hear some comments and let me know if you're learning, how you're progressing. If you have any questions, I would love to make any kind of a follow-up video. If you have anything in the cubing world among cube puzzles that I actually have, I can't make a video about a puzzle that I don't have. But if you have any questions and anything that you would like to see a video on, let me know. This is Cube Puzzle Fun. My rap name is Alex. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching this video, and peace.